Yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Margot and I'm Communication Officer at Youth Express Network.
Hi everyone, I'm Véronique. I am the Secretary General of Youth Express Network, and this is our office here in Strasbourg, France.
So welcome everyone to our presentation. Thank you for joining us, and also thank you for Asfar for asking us to take part in this presentation and inviting us to this digital talks. My name, as I say, is Margot, and I'm communication officer, and this is my colleague, just to. And today our plan is to introduce our organization, so Youth Express Network, to present a little bit of the work we've done in the past years, and to open a discussion on the impact of the global pandemic on youth work, but more specifically on European youth work. So I'll start with presenting the organization. So Youth Express Network is a European network of youth organizations. Our members are youth organizations spread all over Europe, and the common point of our members is that they all work for social inclusion for young people. So although they're all different and individual youth organizations, they work towards the same mission to reach social inclusion for young people. We have different organizations that work with different publics. And for example, we have a member organization that specifies on social inclusion for Roma youth. We can also have work towards youth that live in rural areas. And our mission is to gather these youth organizations and allow them to work together and exchange good practices. We currently have 34 members in 23 European countries, and we were recently joined by Asfar as a member organization, which is also why we wanted to introduce our work and welcome them. When we say European countries, we actually are talking of the European continent, not just the European Union. Our member organizations are all members of the Council of Europe, and the territory spreads from Spain to Russia, and we also have members in the Caucasus region and the Balkans. We work with young people, but we are also led by young people. This is very important for us because as our mission is to help people have their voice heard, our board is composed of young people from different countries. So this is something that makes us be closer to our mission. We are based in Strasbourg and we are 2 staff members. And the fact that we are based in Strasbourg makes us closer to European institutions, because Strasbourg has several European institutions here, the Council of Europe, the European Parliament, and yes, this is Youth Express Network.
Our vision is to make Europe an inclusive society for young people. And what we understand under inclusive is a society where young people, their needs, their rights, their participation are recognized, valued, and appreciated. And in the name of Youth Express Network, the most important word is express. it has two meanings for us. It means that young people have a lot of valuable things to say about the society they live in, and also express, meaning we have to be quick. If we want social change, we cannot wait for another generation. We have to start here and now. So that explains a little bit the name. And how it all started. It started after we need to go and travel back in time. After 1989, after the fall of the Iron Curtain and the USSR, the Council of Europe, which is the other European institution besides European Union, the Council of Europe organized a study session in Strasbourg in the premises of the Council of Europe in France. They organized a study session for youth and social workers from Western Europe and Eastern Europe in 1991. In order for them to meet and exchange about practices on how to reach meaningfully young people marginalized or excluded on the territory of Europe. And at the end of this study session, the participants decided to stay in contact together to establish a network that was first informal network, and that it was Cable 5 network. And it became legally registered in 1993. So we have almost 30 years of history. And the fact that we are born from the Council of Europe has influenced our way of working, our working principles, and our working culture. We really are very close to the philosophy of the Council of Europe, like the respect of human rights, the rule of law, democracy. The seat is on purpose in Strasbourg and not in Brussels, like many other European youth NGOs. We want to stay close to the European Parliament, the Parliamentary Assembly of the European Union, and the Council of Europe. And as Margot said, pan-European is the whole continent, not just European Union. What we try to do, our network constitutes a micro representation of what a global approach towards social inclusion could be. It means successful interactions between professionals and volunteers. The professionals are youth workers or social workers. The volunteers are also youth workers and social workers. We try to have local solutions based on personal approaches. We try to have European synergies at the service of young people. We try to provide innovation and interaction between educational, cultural, and employment services and authorities. Our member organizations are youth-led and inclusive. They work on a daily basis empowerment of young people who face either marginalization or exclusion. And these organizations support, involve, inspire young people every day. 34 organizations, but they are very diverse, and the diversity of profile and sizes of our member organizations is the direct mirror of the diversity of young people in vulnerable situations and their complex stories. So the way our member organizations work is simply to build bridges between communities. They also have, coming maybe from Yen, but maybe from before, they have this working culture to think transnationally and to act locally. They really have a field-based approach. All our European projects, the projects that we provide to our member organizations in order for them to meet and discuss, these projects are meant to identify mechanisms, solutions for social inclusion that maybe potentially already exist in one country and to transpose them in another local reality or another community. So we do training courses, seminars, study visits, youth exchanges, cross-border activities. These European activities are all opportunities for young people to interact, to create, to socialize, to put their social skills in practice, to develop and use them. That's the way they can exercise their creativity, participation, and responsibility. So these activities are meant to be places and safe places where the young people can learn and value others, where they can feel valued, and where the self-esteem and social responsibility go hand in hand. Where they can learn about their rights, human rights, social rights, and where they learn to live a life in dignity. And for the European continent, it's not, I mean, we have to repeat and always insist that young people have rights. I know we have now participants from other continents, but even in Europe, people tend to forget that they have rights. They very easily give up or abandon these rights. So we have to reinforce this. How we see youth work is about provoking change in people's heads, changing young people's lives, but for a better, and having some impact on the society. That's what we don't do a lot of activities. We are not, we don't do a lot of European activities. Our members do a lot of local activities, but we as a network, we have about 10 to 12 European projects per year maximum, and that was for the past years. We are not a project industry or project factory, and we are not sending flows of young people all over Europe. We are very selective on doing very specific activities linked to the topic or the needs of our members for the year. And among the most crazy projects that we have from 30 past years, here are some examples. We started, the very first activity was a seminar, a mobile seminar by train in the Trans-Siberian Trail from Moscow to Baikal Lake in the Federation of Russia in 1994. We had another mobile seminar in the Balkans in 2008, traveling by bus or by boat. We started in Bosnia-Herzegovina, then we went down to Montenegro, came back through Croatia for 10 days. And we would stop every day in a different city or village doing youth work and animation, street animation, and or local events. We did exactly the same concept for the Caucasus, traveling by bus from Armenia, Georgia, and then Turkey, and then coming back the same way, because as you know, the border between Armenia and Turkey is totally closed. There was a seminar last year, a hiking seminar, like walking seminar on the Santiago, the Camino de Santiago. So always keep moving. Another crazy project that we had was in 2011, where we had three generations, the young parents, their children, and the grandparents. So 3 generations in one European activity for almost a week. And another crazy project was a project where we had a training course with participants from Italy, France, Portugal, and Romania, but all using only their own language. So it was a Latin training course, not using English, but their own language. Usually English is the working language for our activities, but we don't put it as a requirement to be fluent in English in order to participate, to be able to come, because our activities are led by professional or volunteer trainers and facilitators who are bilingual, trilingual, and they can provide simultaneous translation, or we use graphic facilitation, so everything is translated into drawings, all the instructions. We use a lot of artistic expression or outdoor education and sports activities, like replacing the language by the body language whenever possible, and the most language is not always necessary to do youth work.
Among other past projects, we also wanted to highlight two other projects that we did more recently. The first one was called Digitalize It, and it was a project between members on digital storytelling. The aim was to share good practices and innovative tools and methods on storytelling between youth organizations to allow them to empower young people with these tools after. We worked with an expert video maker, Leos Bank, and he had worked with us in the past in a project called Voice It that happened in 2016. And this project was aimed at training young people on the basics of video making and storytelling in order for them to be able to share their stories online. And this sparkled empowerment because with owning their own story and being able to tell their story to the world, they gained self-esteem, confidence, and became able to go on with their lives with more power and strength. And because this first project was so successful, we did digitalize it to allow our members and youth organizations to learn how to teach themselves to young people so that it could be multiplied and the empowerment of young people would be multiplied. Another project that ended at the beginning of this year was Massa Project, which was coordinated by a partner from Malta. Massa Project was a social media campaign on migration and media literacy. The aim was to tackle stereotypes and discrimination that migrant people live through the memes and the meme culture and through social media. So we used memes, as you can see on the presentation, and this allowed us to reach more people and also to make it more accessible, that you have to fact check. You have to check your facts and not give in on to fake news. And before spreading hate speech on social media and internet, you need to check your info and yeah. So these two projects were more recent digital topics, and so the reason why we wanted to present these few projects is because, as you all know, this year the global pandemic that we're all going through as humanity has had a huge impact on jobs, on work, globally, but also what about youth work? And as you can see, the first project that we presented were a mobile project. European youth work relies a lot on planes and transportation and gathering youth workers or gathering young people in one spot so they can meet and learn from each other. The other projects that we presented were about intercultural learning. How do you use intercultural learning if you don't meet in real life? And these last projects that I presented are on digital tools. So this global pandemic has brought us to get to learn more on digital tools. We basically have no choice. As Youth Express Network, over the past month, the global pandemic has led us to think about how we can adapt our work as a network online. And the picture you see here is a picture of our General Assembly that we usually do in Europe all together somewhere in one city. And this year we had to gather online and do our General Assembly like that. So from what we presented and introduced, we'd like to start a discussion together and reflect on three different topics. And from here, I guess I'll ask the help of Asfar to put us on different discussion rooms. And the questions that we'd like to reflect on together are the following. So, what are we missing from offline youth work? And when we say offline youth work, we mean being able to meet in real life, being able to do these non-formal education activities and other stuff like that. The second question we'd like to reflect on is, what did we win with youth work going online? What are we winning from this situation when we have to gather through video chats? And the third question we'd like to reflect on would be, what is the future of youth work? That's a big question to answer, but maybe we'll have a few answers. I don't know. Okay, that's working. Okay, so we are back.
The first group one, we're back. Yeah.
Yeah. Could the first group share their answers on the first question? What are we missing from offline youth work?
So yes, we had question one about what we are missing from offline youth work, and we came up with a few different ideas. One being that sometimes it has more of an impact in person, especially if you're meeting new people. It's hard to follow maybe more online than it is in person. Bruno also came up with a really important term called digital divide, where not everyone has the same access to technology in different countries, and a lot of technical difficulties as well, which we wouldn't have in offline youth work. Bruno?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that was a bit yeah, the point that because this amplify mostly the let's say the situation what we already have before, because I imagine like young people who has it's difficult already to reach as a youth worker. Imagine like the need or the Roma community or other stuff. So when you're going online, so it's much more difficult because this digital divide, like not everybody has the same access, even if everybody has even in terms of competences, as well. Like, let's say that everybody has a mobile, but are you able to use it well? Uh, that's a bit the point, and this situation just amplified this these things. And what do we win with the youth work going online? Um, well, we say that we want, let's say, consistent in some point. Like definitely we can we have the possibility to reach, let's say, everybody who has not digital divide, but who has this access to online and use at least a minimum. Nowadays we can work um, quite easily without traveling. You know, we learn also how to do training course on online, which again, it doesn't substitute. I would like not that it substitute the offline trainings, but in some point we have an extra tool that we can still use it in the future. That's what we win. And then yes, like as I said, like more consistently, like we can work more much better, coordinating in a much better way. So it's enough to do this kind of meeting in an email, calling like now to organize a meeting. Okay, we are talking 1 hour enough, so you don't need to travel neither to the other side of the city, no, because it's enough to talk like this, and then it's still like how we met. Jed, if you want to add something else, if I forgot something.
Maybe Amino, if you've got a point. Amino?
Stay with us, Amina. Yeah.
I don't think it's. He did have a point, but I don't think his the technology is working.
Yes. What I would say is that it's good. Like, but the challenge that the youth have here when it comes to being offline, when it and with the youth work is that now the cost of accessing information or being online is very, very expensive. So, like when they are offline, it really helps them. So that's what I'll say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
I have to another point. Much people were missing starting determination in real life, not like online behind the phone.
Yes,
So
true.
we need person to daring this person to make him talk and
Yeah, that's very true. Is it all for the first point?
Yes.
Of the first 2 points? Did we hear group 2 already?
yeah.
No, we win, yes.
Okay.
So we miss the future of youth work. Any ideas, suggestions?
What is the future of youth work?
So we had Sofia and Vasya came up with 2 really good ideas. If you guys want to tell us like your ideas, then it'll be good. Or I can say it, I don't mind. Okay, I'll just say it. So Sofia had the idea that Vasya basically said that she liked the idea of having everything online because it was accessible for people all around the world. Anyone can join at any time, and it's very inclusive, like of like whatever background you're like. It's like say for example like this digital talk will be recorded, so you can go back and like listen to some of the ideas. So it's good for people who wanted to go back and reference. And said that she agreed with Raja's idea, but she kind of disagreed because she preferred being with like the in the moment kind of thing. But like she also said that like the whole thingy of the whole situation of wearing masks in schools, and how Veggie is a teacher and she can't, it's difficult to communicate fully with the students because they wear masks and you can't really express yourself as well. But obviously that's what we're looking at in the near future anyway, that everyone's going to be wearing masks and having to sort of be more safe and secure with your like learning and stuff. So we never know, in the future it's probably going to continue online for a while.
Thank you for sharing. So yeah, we are living in very complex times, and whether it is on the work field and our daily job, or for the topic of youth work or European youth work, these times are for adapting and converting everything we do to online work. And yesterday we read an article on the Guardian that we read this quote on the article that says, technology is going to be key to how we work in the future, but it's going to be an enabler. It's not going to be an answer. And it's something that we think is very true to youth work too, because as you said, being online brings a lot of inclusivity in a way, but also a lot of exclusivity and
we don't have the answers. We're still brainstorming, still rethinking everything from the way we used to work, and that was just an appetizer. And if you have in the future new ideas on how we could transform youth work or adapt it, we're really interested to to receive your ideas, suggestions. From our side, if you want to follow the next steps and events, because we do hope we will have next steps and events, we have the social media, Facebook, Instagram. And if you want to see the previous projects, we have the YouTube channel with a lot of videos of past and good memories.
Yeah. Thank you for discussing with you.
Thank you.
With us, with everyone.
Bye. Thank you very much. So yeah, thank you guys for the Youth Express Network for actually coming in. That was really, really good presentation. Hopefully we can all like take away something from you know, the ideas that we discussed in our groups. If anyone has any last questions for the Youth Express Network, or for anyone, please go ahead, ask any questions. No, again, but if you have any questions, you can always go on the social medias, or Facebook, Instagram, with the Youth Express Network and Asfar. And yeah, thank you everyone for coming, everyone who attended in Sarajevo or wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for coming. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we will hopefully see you soon, and stay in touch, everyone.